This is Loyalty-Based Sales Strategies with Jen Suzuki, exclusively on CBT News.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. I'm Jen Suzuki on Loyalty-Based Sales Strategies, talking about ChatGPT today. ChatGPT, it's a tool, and it's something that can help save time. It is designed for efficiency. It is a tool that helps us to create content that looks like a human wrote it. Now, the trick to using ChatGPT is to understand how to use it, because people are using it in the dealership for a lot of different ways, mostly marketing. I see a lot of marketing departments using ChatGPT to help them craft messages for their social media posts, for their campaigns that they're doing. I also see ChatGPT being used a lot from the people that are putting together the used car listings. ChatGPT's got a wealth of information, and it's designed to create human-like conversations. It's a conversation tool, and we want to get people conversing with us, especially as we're navigating all of these customers in our service department, all of these customers that are contacting you in your sales department. We need a tool for our teams to help them ensure that the customers are getting the highest level of communications from us, whether that's through text or it's videos or it's phone talk, it's emails that are going out. It's a lot of different types of ways that we can communicate with customers. So we're going to have to write up a lot of stuff. We're going to have to type up a whole lot of messages. And here's the thing. Our teams get lead fatigue. They get burnout. We're trying to follow up. And so often we have old language being used in our communications to get engagement, to get people talking to us, to move people off of a text onto a call, stuff like this. And sometimes our service BDC is having a tough time because customers are calling in and they want to know how much things cost. They want to know what the work is going to consist of, what they're going to get for their money. They want to get understanding of what's going to be done during a diagnostic. And so our service BDC is going to have a lot of questions thrown at them, just as much as our sales department would. And so today, our leadership, I want you to really listen in on how to leverage ChatGPT for your service and your sales teams. I'm going to start off with service real quick. And I got my phone handy. I hope you do too, because ChatGPT is going to be on your phone. They've got a new updated version, and it's oftentimes a free service. So you can subscribe. I subscribe and I'm able to do a little bit more. I can create images. I can create all sorts of things. But for today's purpose, we could get away with the free version. Okay. So ChatGPT, I call it the assist because it's a tool that assists us in crafting better messages so that we can put more appointments together and put more deals together, and we can write more line items. So start with the service department. So advisors, BDC, there's going to be service work that is recommended from our technicians through MPI. And so some of the service work, sometimes our advisors, they're maybe new to the business. They have no idea what this job is. And our BDC, our service BDC, a lot of times they never even worked as a technician or even as an advisor. So how would they know all the jobs? Now, I'm not trying to diagnose people on the phone, but when customers know they got a problem and maybe they've already taken it somewhere else and they're trying to get a price quote or something else like that, we are going to need to know what they're getting for their money. And so I use ChatGPT a lot of times when a customer says, for example, hey, my air conditioning, it's hot, it's summer, it's not blowing cold, it's making this grinding noise, it's squealing. Well, okay, let me write that down, And I was told it's an AC compressor. How much is an AC compressor? And maybe through investigation, we're over here like, okay, this customer's been talking to another shop, they're price quoting, it's the compressor. Sounds like that's the compressor. I might use ChatGPT to say, hey, what are symptoms of an AC compressor problem? Just because I'm trying to school up. I go into ChatGPT, I ask it, it starts spitting out some language, and I'm just schooling up over here, about the jobs. And I also want to be able to provide solutions to this customer. So I need to start getting the benefits of getting this service work done. So if I don't know the jobs, and look, we're not trying to diagnose, you got to tread carefully here, but understand the point I'm trying to make is like, look, sometimes people will say, hey, what do I get for an oil change? How much is an oil change? And maybe I need to look in here and say, these are all the things that a traditional car dealership service department will offer on an oil change versus an outside shop that doesn't top off fluids, doesn't use factory parts, doesn't have factory trained technicians, isn't using factory diagnostic equipment. Okay. But ChatGPT will pop out all this information. Anyways, I mentioned this to you because a lot of times we need to be able to share what the benefits are of doing this job, having this work looked at in our department. So I go into ChatGPT here and I say, I'm new, I don't know all these things. And I say in here, I'm suspecting that I've got an air conditioning compressor issue. I'd like to have a technician look at it. What's he going to do to diagnose and fix the problem? So when I'm over here trying to sell this work, I'm over here like, so first we're going to start with the diagnostic. This is where the technician is going to use factory, machinery to inspect the air conditioning system and the compressor to identify the root cause of the problem. And this is going to involve testing the electrical connections, checking the refrigerant levels, and examining the compressor for visible signs of damage. I mean, who even talks like this? Yeah, okay. That's my friend over here, the assist. And then it says, so depending on the nature of the issue, the technician might repair the compressor by replacing, some of the faulty components, such as the, I don't even know what this means, the capacitors, the relays, or the wiring, and in some cases, the compressor needs to be replaced, activates beyond repair. Look, I guess what I'm saying is this. I mean, this thing is pretty detailed, right? And I'm not trying to say all this stuff. I'm just trying to get educated as to what we do when we do this work, because somebody put you on the spot, and I can't say, this is why you do the work here, because I don't know. Well, this is what we need to be doing in a lot of our service BDC, with a lot of advisors that are starting to set appointments and sell jobs, sell work. I want to be sure that I'm schooling them with things that are accurate. So it might even say recharging refrigerant, it says in here, and testing and maintenance. And it kind of gets into why we use factory technicians to replace some of these parts with factory parts and the importance of these things. But that leads me to identifying the value of our service department and our technicians and our equipment, and why you go to factory versus off generic brands that are only using generics to everything. So when I asked ChatGPT, what's the differences between a car dealership service department and an outside service department? What are some of the differences and what are the benefits? Well, then that can help me kick out value so that we're schooling up our teams to stay in the know. And a lot of times people are very basic in these conversations, but one thing customers keep screaming at us, we don't like basic. We want to be explained things, spent time with. And so I would encourage you to use ChatGPT in some of these areas that can help even with handling objections. Moving over to our sales department. I'm just going to put a few on the screen because, it's easy to go into ChatGPT and run your own plays and examples and get your own outcomes. But I use a lot of times sales, ChatGPT for sales because of lead handling. So I'll give you a quick example of how I use ChatGPT. So I go into the app and I say, I just received an internet lead from my website and the customer's looking for a new car and they didn't list if they have a trade-in, and I can tell that they're only 20 minutes from me by their address. How should I respond and what questions should I ask? I really want to talk to them on the phone, and I also know they're talking to other dealerships and I want to stand out and I don't want my message to be really long. Help me write an email. So the key to this is to know how to use it. So the more I give them, the easier it is for them to sound like a human. It spits out, hey, customer name, thanks for reaching out about your interest in a new car. We're excited to help you find the perfect vehicle to meet your needs. I noticed you're located just 20 minutes away, so we're conveniently close to you to visit and explore a range of models. I mean, who could have wrote that any better? If I want to go back in and say, hey, can you create a call to action, a question at the end, it'll add more to this, and you can keep on getting it to right to where you want it to be, to the point where I'm like, I like that, copy, paste, boom, send. So I use this to craft messages in my lead handling process, and it also helps me to create engagement, through questions I might ask to maybe shoot out in my text messages. Look, the salespeople only know what they know, and we're trying to level up. So if we're not really good at writing out messages and everything, but I can do some voice to text. Let's go. So sometimes I'll go back to the, to the ChatGPT and I say, I want to text this person now in case they don't respond to this email. What would you suggest I say so that they'll talk to me on the phone? Tell them what you want, and it spits out. Hey, customer name, it's Jen from ABC Motors. I just want to quickly check in regarding your interest in a new car. I'm here to help, and I'd love to chat with you over the phone to discuss your preferences, answer any questions you might have. When would be a good time for you to talk? Feel free to reach out at your convenience. Look forward to connecting with you. Your name. I mean, seriously, what? All those old school templates you got saved in there. Bah! Because now we have this assist here that's going to help us craft way better messages to help us get engagement. So I use it for emails, and you can kind of see here, I'm going a little further. This is a new customer, hasn't been to our store yet. Keep the message brief. I want to welcome them as an existing customer, a customer who bought from us before. It's going to create some loyalty in here. So switching gears over to engagement. So for me, this is like a heavy hitter for me. A lot of leads out there, I got to get them talking to me. And the problem is a lot of people are going to ghost you. And so if we've looked at the data, we can also find out that a lot of customers today, especially those that submit an internet lead, they're probably like 90, 120 days out, like, who is following up and coming up with that kind of messaging? Yeah, well, we do have a tool that can help us move them up a little bit faster and get them talking to us. I'm looking for engagements. It's not always about sales appointment conversions. I'm trying to get people to talk to us, and especially if the cycle is going to be that long, that's a benchmark. But how are we going to get them engaged? Funny you should ask. I've got this great tool on my phone called ChatGPT. Let's go. So this is an example. I would say to ChatGPT, what are some questions that I can ask via text message to increase engagement? And by the way, you would want to put something even more in here. Like you would want to say, this is a potential car buyer. This is somebody who's remote, that I don't have their phone number, whatever your details are. You just customize your message to ChatGPT and then let it kick out questions for you. So imagine you're getting ghosted. You're in the sales process. You're like, have you had a chance to think about what type of financing or leasing options might work best for you? Ooh, I like that. Just answer the question. Is there a specific color or trim level that you're leaning towards for on your new car? One question. Are there any specific concerns or requirements that we should keep in mind as we assist you? Have you considered any additional features or accessories that you would like to have on your new car? Is there anything from your previous experience with us that we can improve to enhance you this time? Look, boom, 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 boom. It just lays it down. And then I always go back and I say, hey, can you give me 10 more? And it'll keep giving you questions and you can build a library. You can build your next training manual. You can build so much digital content to help your sales team with all those checkpoints in their sales process. So you might say internet lead follow-up, boom. Here's all our questions we could use for text messaging. You pull it right out of here. You're updating. You're getting inspired to create new messages that we didn't come up with already. And this is just an example. But believe me, once you get really dialed into this thing, you're going to have so many options at your fingertips. A lot of times I'm using it for product knowledge. I'm using it for emails. I'm using it to sell value in my messaging so I can level up my messaging so it ain't basic. And I use it for sales objections. I use it for a lot of things. But once you get acclimated to what ChatGPT could do for you, and it's a free tool, your messaging is going to look so good. You're going to look so professional, and you're going to get more people conversing back with you. Now you're leveling up. Okay, I'm Jen Suzuki, and I hope you enjoyed this easy episode on how you can leverage ChatGPT into your service and your sales departments and really get that content crafted like a beast. I'm Jen Suzuki, Loyalty-Based Sales Strategies. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Loyalty-Based Sales Strategies with Jen Suzuki, exclusively on CBT News.